drench these three because they're about to go to a new home, so they have all been tested and drenched and they're actually fine, but because they're moving, we're going to give them a movement worm because they're young. Also, they're going to have both worm medication and they're going to have cydectin, which is a moxidectin drug, and they're going to have faecal for coccidia as well. So firstly, they've all just been weighed, so I put their weights into my system to make sure that the amount of drug they're given is the right amount. It's absolutely essential that you keep, as they grow, you keep increasing their weight in your system so that the drug dose you're giving them is increasing, because it's always per weight for most drugs, not all. Most drugs are per weight, so that's really important. Secondly, this is a drench gun, often called a drench syringe. It doesn't have the long tube which attaches to the bottle. This is all you need. And it's really important when you use it, just before you use it, every time that you tighten, this thing can wind down and then you don't get a full dose. This is for, so you're doing multiple doses at a time, but we never do that. We just do one dose at a time. So really important you make sure that's tight at the top and that the syringe is tight on the bottom before you use it every single time. Otherwise they won't get the full dose. And that's how you get resistance in drugs, and obviously you're not shooting the animal. So first I'm going to put the cydectin in. I've got the amount that I want on my sheet. So I'm doing Apollo, and he is having 13.4, so 14 mil. So I'm going to draw that up into my syringe. It just goes slightly over because I normally lose a bit. And then the next one, the Baycox, Russell will shake that thoroughly. The cydectin actually doesn't congeal. Most drugs, they separate, so it's absolutely essential that you shake them. Baycox particularly, and antibiotics, all of that, absolutely essential that you shake the drug before you use it. Otherwise you're not getting the drug, you're just getting the stuff that it's floating in. So 14, this is the same amount of this one, 14 plus 14 is 28, is it? No, 38. 38 plus 14, 20, no, it says 28. Yes, 28. Are we sure?
Yes, positive.
Okay, so we'll draw this out and I'm going to go slightly over. Sorry, the maths panic there. Really important with drugs you get the right dosage. So I'm just using a bit of kitchen roll in between to wipe the syringe off, because I absolutely don't want a little bit of one drug going into the other, because again, you're basically creating immunity. It's like a vaccination. You're putting a little bit in to create immunity, which is the absolute last thing we want. So I use a little bit of molasses. It's thick, you mix it with water, it goes off quite quickly, so you've got to mix it each time. It just makes it taste a little bit nicer. So they don't hate it so much. And I put a little bit on here so their first experience is quite nice. Shake it. Don't use molasses if you've got an animal that might have an ulcer or has got any other issues. But for a standard animal, a tiny bit of molasses is not going to hurt. So I've got my drug. So I'm going to go, Russell, when you've got, particularly the small ones are quite wiggly and they tend to move backwards. With the adults, you can often just do it on your own or just back them against the side of a pen. So obviously they will often move backwards. So I'm just going to move Apollo into position. Russell will just stand behind him if he starts backing up. And just turn a little more this way. And coming round, this hand goes under their chin. Partly just to hold their mouth, and I can feel his throat. I'm just going to put my finger in the corner of his mouth. And just gently slip this into the side of the mouth. Sorry, I shouldn't have bashed that on the thing. Once it's in the side of their cheek, they're often a lot better. They calm down. Tip this up, tip his head up, and then very slowly start pushing this down. You've got to get the speed right for the animal. My hand's on his throat so I can feel him swallowing. If they stop swallowing, you've got to stop pushing, otherwise it'll all just start coming out. So I just felt him swallow then. So I'm putting in a little bit faster. Okay, he stopped swallowing. Just moving my hand a little bit on his throat just to try and encourage. So I just felt him swallow again. Perfect. Right to the bottom. Gently remove it. I'll keep the head up for a minute till you've definitely felt them swallow again. And then just gradually let go. Now, really importantly, obviously if they do start drooling it all out, or if you don't have it right in the corner of the cheek, remember it's going this way. This has got a nice curve on it so it can go nicely into the side of the cheek. You're not squirting into the back of the throat, otherwise it will go down into their lungs, and that's when they cough and they spit it all out and they drool it. If that happens, you might need to top up with more. You need to kind of gauge how much you've lost, because they do need the full dose of the drug. If you get it right and you do it slowly and you get it into the side of the cheek, that won't happen. Really important now, if I'm going to do another one with this gun, that I take one of my cleansing wipes, little sterile cleansing wipes, and I clean my syringe between animals. I'm not going to stick something I put in one's mouth into the mouth of another. They're probably all absolutely fine, but we just obviously never take any risks, so give that a really good clean. So I use the kitchen roll in between drugs, so no drug gets in the other drug pot, and this in between animals. And that is them drenched.